In the darkest recesses of the human psyche, a chilling phenomenon lurks: the serial killer. One such villain, known only as the Shadow Stalker, committed atrocities that shook the world and left an indelible mark of terror. Our tale begins in the quiet town of Pleasantville in the early 90s. A town, ironically named, for it was anything but pleasant during the reign of the Shadow Stalker. The first victim, a young woman named Lily, was found on a cold April morning. She had been brutally murdered, her body left in the town square for all to see. The authorities were baffled, with no leads or suspects. Then, 2 weeks later, another victim surfaced, a middle-aged man named Peter. The method was the same, the body displayed in a public place. This time, however, the killer had left a cryptic note, a chilling message that read, "The shadow will always find you." As the body count rose, so did the fear and panic amongst the residents of Pleasantville. The Shadow Stalker. The authorities were at their wits' end. They called in the best profilers, the top investigators, but to no avail. The Shadow Stalker remained elusive, always one step ahead, always hidden in the shadows. The turning point came 6 months into the killing spree. A young detective named Sarah, fresh out of the academy, joined the force. She had a theory that the Shadow Stalker was not some outsider, but a resident of Pleasantville, someone who knew the town and its people intimately. Sarah began to dig deeper, combing through the town's records, interviewing residents, putting together a profile of the killer. And then she found it, a pattern. The victims were not random, they were specific targets. Each one had a connection to a local orphanage that had been closed down 20 years prior. The orphanage had a dark history, reports of abuse, neglect, even deaths of the children under their care. Sarah theorized that the Shadow Stalker was a former resident of the orphanage, seeking revenge for the horrors they had suffered. With this new lead, the police zeroed in on a suspect, John Doe, a quiet, reclusive man who lived on the outskirts of town. A search of his home revealed a cache of evidence, the same type of weapon used in the killings, newspaper clippings of the murders, and a diary detailing his plans for each victim. John Doe was arrested, tried, and found guilty of the Shadow Stalker murders. He was sentenced to life in prison, bringing an end to the reign of terror that had gripped Pleasantville. In retrospect, the story of the Shadow Stalker serves as a chilling reminder of the darkness that can reside in the human heart. A man, scarred by his past, who chose to inflict pain and terror on others. His choice of victims, his method of killing, his cryptic messages, all were part of a twisted game of revenge. The tale of the Shadow Stalker is more than just a story of a serial killer. It's a tale of fear, of a community under siege, of a young detective's determination to bring a killer to justice. But above all, it's a tale of the shadows that lurk within us all, waiting to be unleashed.